Okay, so AIM 4.4, what is imperialism and what were its causes or motives? We just talked about some answers to the do now, so away we go. All right, we got a couple definitions here. I will give you a second. All right, so for our purposes, we will define imperialism as a policy by which a country increases its power by gaining control over other areas of the world. That's pretty vague, but a lot of people like to describe this as big countries taking over small countries, and that's kind of true, but not always, right? A better description would be powerful countries taking over less powerful countries, not big and small, but powerful and less powerful. One of the foremost imperializing countries in the world will be Great Britain, and it's just this little rinky-dink island in like northwestern Europe, but it's going to become the global superpower and the preeminent kind of colonial power in the world. The saying is that the sun never sets on the British Empire because they have territories all around the world. That's why they say that. So it's not necessarily big and small, but more powerful taking over less powerful. The motives are nationalism and the Industrial Revolution. Now, we talked about how imperialism is connected to the Industrial Revolution in terms of you need raw materials, you need sources of cheap labor, and you need markets for the sale of manufactured goods. And taking over other countries can satisfy all three of those requirements in one act, right? By conquering another. You can conquer a place and then you could take all the raw materials out of that place. You can have those people work for free, and you can sell those people back the goods that you made with the raw materials you took from them. So colonialism and imperialism kind of are synonymous. This policy serves that need. One could argue that without the Industrial Revolution, imperialism would not take place on the same scale that it did. Okay? It is a need that is satisfied by imperialism. And the nationalism piece is really about pride in your country. If other countries are going and conquering territories and becoming bigger and larger and more powerful and wealthier, you, having pride in your country, want to do the same. So that is where the nationalism kind of comes into play. That desire to see your country succeed in your own image. Okay, next. I'll give you a second. If you are a big, strong, powerful country that considers itself morally upstanding, if you're going to engage in imperialism and invade and enslave and exploit and take advantage of the people of a particular place, you need to find a way to justify that. Okay? Eventually, you have to put your head on your pillow at night and be okay with what you're doing. Social Darwinism is that lie that Europeans will tell themselves so they can sleep at night. Charles Darwin, the famous scientist and author of The Origin of Species, which is arguably one of the most important books ever written, said that the species that are best adapted to their environments are most fit to survive, while those species that do not adapt effectively to their environment are destined to die off. In nature, there is predator and there is prey. The natural course of nature is that predators feed on prey, and prey are destined to be the victims of predators. And that is just the natural order of the world. Well, Europeans will take Darwin's theory of natural selection and survival of the fittest and apply it to society. So the same way that Darwin said prey is destined to be the victim of predators, these Europeans will say less powerful countries are destined to be the victims of more powerful countries. The same way that sharks eat minnows is the same way that powerful countries conquer less powerful countries. And this is the way of nature. This is the way of the world. This is the natural order of things. And this is the story that they tell themselves so that they can sleep at night. Now, sharks eat minnows because they need to do that in order to survive. I don't think powerful countries need to conquer less powerful countries in order to survive. They do it in order to better their position and improve the quality of life for the people there, but it's not a matter of life and death the way sharks and minnows is. So I don't know that it's a fair comparison, but regardless, this policy of social Darwinism will rule the day. This is the mindset that makes it okay for Europeans to go and conquer other people with very little regard for the well-being of those people. This is the way that it's going to work. So this is kind of a profound approach to this, because it's going to allow them and kind of justify the conquering of other places. And we'll talk more about that moving forward. But this is an important kind of backbone to this whole thing. Because when we talk about imperialism just objectively, it seems kind of evil. We talk about bullying in schools. The definition of bullying is based on a perceived difference in power. It is the more powerful taking advantage of the less powerful. And this is just nothing more than intercontinental bullying. So these people need to find a way to justify what they're doing. And this is the way that they will do that, by applying this theory. This is an important part of understanding what imperialism is all about.